Hi everyone, welcome back to Nails by Sora. I hope you're doing well. So this is the first time I've done this, and I said I was going to do it in a previous video where I did my dominant hand off camera so that I could figure out what I wanted to do and have less confusion in the process of showing you what I was doing. So this video today is going to be the viral koi fish nail designs that are going around right now, and I did a combination of, I am going to show you. I did a combination of 2D and 3D koi fish with some lily pads and cat eye gel to kind of give like a rippling water effect, and some lotus leaves. So this is the manicure that I've already done on my left hand, and you can see as you shift your nails through it, the cat eye gel crystals, the magnetic crystals move around. And then we've got our 3D koi fish on my ring finger with 2 more on my thumb, and then some 2D ones on my middle finger, pinky, and pointer finger. Now I don't know if I'm going to do the exact same manicure on my right hand. For one thing, it's always more difficult working on your non-dominant hand, but also it's a little overdone for me. There's a lot going on, and I don't know if I want to have just so much going on my right hand. Also, it's now 4:54. I was smart. I was smart this time. I would usually do my manicures Monday nights. It is now Tuesday afternoon at 4:55, and I said to myself, I'm not going to kill myself doing it after a long day of work, being up until 3-4 o'clock in the morning. There's no reason why I can't do it on my day off. So I recorded a different video last night, and I decided to do my main manicure today. I forgot what I was going to say. I was interrupted by a phone call. Yeah, so as I think I was saying, there's a lot going on here. I think I want to simplify it a little bit on my right hand, but I'm going to take you through the techniques and how I achieved the overall feel. So, I was saying, so I started about 1 o'clock today with the removal process and everything, and I think I started the manicure about 1:40, 1:50, I'm not sure. So it's already been about 3 hours of doing my nails. It's getting to be a bit much. So yeah, I'm going to dial it back a bit and show you the whole process, and we're going to start with the base coat and the cat eye gel. So I've used this cat eye gel in a previous video. It's by Sage Bio. Oceanic Opal Eyes is the color, and it's one of the best cat eye gels that I've used. They do have other colors which I'm looking into getting. Excuse me. Not many. This is number 4. I think they have like 6 different colors, but it goes on really smoothly, and the cat eye is just perfect. But first we want to start with the base color, which is Turquatic from Apres, and I'm going to prep my nails with Young Nails Protein Bond. Now, strictly speaking, when you're using Protein Bond, you just want to concentrate on the area of the nail that is natural. You don't really need to put it on the extensions, but I usually put it on the entire nail anyway, because what can it hurt? It adds that extra little bit of tackiness and makes sure that your polish and whatever you're doing to your nail sticks really well. And Young Nails is really the best of the best. I've never had any problems with their products. At work, I do use Young Nails, but I use it predominantly for my acrylic applications because it is a really tiny bottle and it goes really fast. It's not inexpensive. So usually for gel applications at work, I'll use, what's the name of the brand? It's slipping my mind. I'm gonna have to look it up. But I use a different product to prep my nails, one that actually has to be cured. So this one doesn't. This one you just put on and it dries, and you can see that you've got something on your nails now because your nails are going to be shiny. Please ignore the state of my hands. They are so dry and flaking and disgusting. And I've got a hole in my nail, which I explained in another video I won't go into again, but suffice it to say I got a little crazy thinking I had a greenie, and I put a hole in my nail. It'll grow out. But yeah, my hands are really dry, and I need to really pay attention to moisturizing them. But anyway, so we've got the protein bond on now. We're going to go in with base coat. My nails are only 1 week grown out, so I am not doing a builder backfill because it's just not necessary. I'm just going to use my base gel, put on a nice layer. I'm going to do my thumb first and flash cure it, and then finish off with the other 4 fingers. Also, you'll notice a cloudiness underneath my thumbnail. I was doing, what manicure was I doing? I was doing something with 3D gel. And I had gotten a piece of 3D gel underneath my nail and I didn't realize it. And then I went and I cured my thumb. And I didn't realize it until after I was finished with the video that I had a piece of 3D gel lodged underneath my nail that I then had to file off. So that's what the milkiness is. Pay no attention to it. Okay, I'm gonna flash cure this. Once you have your thumb flash cured, you can go ahead and do the rest of your nails all at once. You really wanna focus on doing your thumbnail separate from the rest of your fingers because it lies sideways and you're going to run the risk of having product roll into your cuticle, which you don't want. I'm not used to doing my right hand on camera, so if I get into some weird angles, please forgive me. All right, now we're ready to go in with our color. So one of the reasons why I love Apres is because their brushes are pretty flat and they're tapered so that when you're putting it down towards a cuticle line, you can really get that nice curve. And also they've pioneered a new technology with their bristles that really hold the product. I didn't even realize it has some kind of code, probably a, what's it called? Proprietary code number or something on the wand, but so that when you're pushing it, rewind, so it really holds the product a lot better and you end up not having to use as much. So I'm just going to push it in towards the nail fold. It's not the cuticle, it's the nail fold. I want to concentrate on making really thin layers. I'm only going to do 1 coat because we're going to go in with the cat eye gel and I don't want a really bulky nail. So you can see it's already pretty well lined in there, but you can go ahead with your liner brush if you want to, if you feel like you need it a little bit more snug. I need to clean off my brush, it's got pink on it. And you can straighten that line and get it a little bit closer. And then as with the base gel, we're going to go ahead and flash cure our thumb first. All right, moving on to the next step, we're going to do our cat eye gel. So I'm not doing anything complicated with the cat eye. I'm basically just trying to create something that looks wave-ish. moving some things out of the way. Magnets like magnets. They are annoying. But I'm gonna go ahead and put on a pretty good layer, not too thick, but you wanna make sure that all the crystals are well represented, for lack of a better way of phrasing it. Do shake the bottle. Just make sure that all the crystals are well distributed throughout the gel. And then I use a round one, but you can really use any magnet. What you're just trying to do is get all of the crystals activated, so you can go around one side and then bring it around to the other side. At the bottom. And then once you get like a highlight line, like you can see that stronger line coming in from the left, you want to push it with the magnet until you get a design that you like. The further you pull it away, the less of an impact it will have. The closer you have it, the more distinct the line will be. So once you get it how you like it, cure it right away. Otherwise, you're going to lose the pattern. It's going to start spreading out and it's going to be less distinct. So now we're just going to do the same thing with the other nails. And I try to go in different directions with the pattern. So if it's coming in from the left, I'm going to go in from the right, top, bottom. I'm going to switch it up. And you really need to do one finger at a time. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but if you don't cure it, you're going to affect each nail with the next one as you're pulling the magnet around. And also you're going to, lose the design that you worked so hard to achieve. All right, so this is what we have so far. We have our cat eye gel working for us. Really, really love this brand. I'm gonna have to get more of the colors. I really want the green. I'm gonna move the magnet out of the way because it is a pain in my butt. But yeah, so now we're gonna get into the lily pads and we're gonna build this up layer by layer. So I've got a few different colors on my palette and some of these I mixed. This one I think is pistachio. Or is it maybe keep palm? Pistachio's a little brighter. And then I also took Everglades, which is the darker green, more of a khaki. And then we've got some yellow that I mixed in, as well as some brighter green. So this is where you get to play because there are no rules. It's all about achieving the look that you want. And even if it's not what you wanted in the beginning, it can be beautiful nonetheless. And that is my PSA announcement for today. What I did with this hand is I went and did my middle finger first, just to, you know, figure out what I wanted to do. So I did the lily pads and then the lotus blooms, and then I put in the koi fish. But I'm going to go and do all the lily pads, and I'm going to do all of the lotus blossoms and finish off with the koi fish. So let's plot out where we want them. And as I said, I'm going to go a little less crazy, but I want to kind of create the same ultimate pattern. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult using my non-dominant hand, but that's what it is. So you want to create kind of like a Pac-Man shape, because lily pads have a little cutout in them. Kind of like that. And you can refine it. Yes, refine, that is a word. Refine it as you're going with a, what is it called? A liner brush. I try to get the opening going in different directions so that they don't look like they're all the same. And when you're putting in the lily pad, you kind of want to think ahead as to where you want everything else. Now I know on each nail I want a koi fish, so I need to leave some space open to put that in. So I'm spacing things out pretty well. I'm only going to put 2 on my ring finger because I want the 3D koi fish, and that's going to take up a little bit more space. Okay, so now that we've got all of our lily pads placed where we want them, I'm going to go in with my liner brush and kind of refine the shape as I mentioned before. So we're going to be doing some layering of color so that it has more of a loose impressionistic feel to it. So don't worry about getting all of the areas filled in 100%. It won't matter. It's funny, when I'm at work at the salon, if a client asks me about my nails, the number one question is always, how do you do your non-dominant hand? Or how do you use your non-dominant hand? And my answer is always, slowly. Because honestly, it's just about practice. I've been doing my nails for over 2 years now. And yeah, when I first started, I was for shit. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. And I'm not going to pat myself on the back and just be like, oh, well, you know, it's easy. It's no problem. Why can't you do it? It takes a lot of practice. It takes figuring out how to hold your hand, how to get the brush going in the direction you need it to go. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it still ends up looking like crap. But you just have to, like anything else, it's a muscle that you need to work. And it's coordination, and you just need to keep doing it. So if you feel like you can't use your non-dominant hand, start off with smaller movements, start off with less detailed designs, and slowly work your way up. Just keep practicing. And eventually, you'll get to the point where you don't really even think about it too much anymore. I mean, it's still a pain in the butt. So this is going to be our base color. You don't need too much of it showing, but lily pads do have quite a depth of color. So we're going to try to mimic that. I'm not going to cure this yet. I'm going to go in with another color right now, and I'm going to choose the Keep Palm. I'm just going to kind of dab it in there. So I think since I'm not following a design right now, I'm kind of just playing around. I'm going to have to use this time to reintroduce myself to anyone that's new, because I mean, this video is posting towards the end of August. And in the month of July, I've increased my subscriber count amazingly by almost 200. And if I'm not already monetized, I soon will be, which is, I can't believe I'm here. I mean, if I started this channel in April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2022. And I've been seeing all of these videos pop up online about I monetized in a month, I monetized in 7 days, I monetized, you know, I started my channel in January, it's November and I'm monetized. I'm like, bitch, it's been 2.5 years. But I don't mind how long it's taken. Yes, it's frustrating, but I know that the subscribers I have really want to be here, I hope. And I value each and every one of you. And I appreciate this channel so much. And if nothing else, it's proven to me that I can really dedicate my time to something and be consistent with something and not get bored. Because that's one thing that I've always had a problem with growing up. So I get bored very easily. My first job, within 2 weeks, I was like, I don't know how I'm ever going to hold down a job. I can't do this. I'm so bored out of my mind. I mean, yes, it was retail. I don't think those jobs are supposed to be lifetime. If you are in retail and you enjoy it, then what I'm saying isn't for you. But hold on, I have to decline a spam call. But yeah, so it wasn't for me, and I was literally terrified because every job that I had, like after a certain amount of time, I would be bored out of my mind. I'm like, I can't live like this. Like, how am I ever going to accomplish anything if I can't stick with anything? But it's been 2.5 years, and honestly, I love it even more than when I first started. And it just means you have to, you know, find something that really makes your heart sing, something that you really enjoy and find value in. So even if I never got that first subscriber, yes, I'm sure at some point I would have stopped doing YouTube, but I wouldn't have stopped doing nails and learning about nail art and design and technique, because I absolutely love it. So I've gone and flash cured the first two colors, because we don't want to get to a point where we're just mixing and mixing and mixing and it turns into a muddy mess. So we've got some blending going on, we've got some highlights and shadows, and now we're going to go in and pump up the depth a little bit more. But as I was saying, so I never intended on being a professional nail tech. Like, my sum goal with doing this was doing my own nails and having fun and learning a new discipline. I mean, when I was growing up, when I was, 15, 16 years old, which was quite a while ago, I always did my own nails. I bought silk wraps and I bought Lee press-on nails, and I did my neighbor's nails, but it was always a hobby. And then I went into different disciplines. I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from Arizona State University. Shout out to the Sun Devils. And kind of forgot about nails. I mean, I always got my nails done at that point when I was, you know, a professional, making money, kind of making money. I always went to the salon and got my nails done. I stopped doing it on my own. Because at that point, I don't know what I was going to say. But anyway, so I kind of weirdly found my way back to it through one of Marla Chris's videos. Shout out to her. Doing dip powder. So I started doing and at that point I was in the culinary industry. Talk about going round and round and not knowing what you want to do. I went from fine art to computer graphics to culinary to nails. But January 2022, I somehow wound up in the algorithm and started watching dip manicure videos and absolutely fell in love with it. 4 short months later, started my YouTube channel. Took an age and a day to even get up to 20 subscribers. Excuse me. And then just, you know, kept doing more and more. Started off with dip, transitioned into gel, then started playing around with acrylic, and then, you know, kind of wanted to start taking clients, but terrified to be found out by the government and then barred from ever having my license, because it is absolutely illegal to do nail services beyond just polishing somebody else's nails with regular polish. It's illegal to do anything in the nail industry professionally without having your license. And if you are found out, they will prevent you from ever obtaining your license. So do things the proper way, get your license. I know it's a pain in the butt. It costs money that you don't want to spend, that you don't have, but just do things the right way. Aside from learning things that you may not be aware of, it's really, by the way, I'm going in with a mixture of the brighter green and my green and yellow mixture, just adding in some more accents. But anyway, so yeah, just if you're interested in getting a license, do your due diligence, check out schools that are in your area. A lot of schools don't really focus on the artistry of it because they feel like you can't teach art. You can only teach technique. So you'll be hard pressed to find good schools that really do anything but take you through the book, which honestly you can do on your own. But you need to be able to take your exams and get the hours and get approved by your state. So different states have different requirements for how many hours you need. I think mine was 240, which is on the low side. I'm in Florida, no surprise. Excuse me. And for me, it was only 2.5, 3 months. So I was in and out and surprisingly got a job right away. But yeah, never intended on being a professional nail tech, but really wanted to start taking clients, really wanted to turn it into a career. And now here I am. And it's slow going, I'm not gonna lie. We're in the middle of the dog days of summer. People are on vacation. Kids are not yet getting ready to go back to school, but soon. So once people start coming back down from, you know, the snowbirds coming back, and once we get into the holidays, it's going to get crazy. Hopefully I won't lose time, too much time, to be able to do this channel. But that's how I got started. That's my story. Oh, and I should also say, my name is not Sora. My name is Stephanie. Sora is a combination of my cat's names, because back when I first started the channel and I wanted to be so unique, it was Dip by Night because I was only dipping, and then I changed it because then I wasn't using dip powder as much, so I wanted to come up with a cool name, and I didn't think my name was cool enough, so I combined my cat's names And now I kind of wish I had just called it Nails by Stephanie. Because when I try to start my own company in the future, which I hope to, I want to open up my own salon suite. It would be nice to be referred to by my actual name. All right, I think that's pretty good. Let's put some of the brighter green in here. I'm gonna go ahead and flash this so that we can go in and put in the lotus blossoms. All right, so now the next step, I'm gonna move these aside, put them away. I like to clean up as I'm going. That way it's not such a daunting task when all is said and done. And it also makes me feel like we're coming to the end of it, because some of the manicures honestly take forever. And if I wait till the end to clean up, it's just like, oh God. But I'm using 3 different colors and 2 different brands for the Lotus Blossoms. These are DG FP030 and DG FP018. They're from DGel. And then I'm also using Madame Glam's pink, which on the nail, these look very similar to each other. So I mixed in some white to get a lighter color, which I'm gonna have to mix some more. So just taking my brush, which I need to clean. Now I know I'm not supposed to be using acetone to clean the brushes, but do as I say, don't do as I do. This one is ratty anyway, and I always use it to mix. So just taking some white. Then I'm gonna take some of this peachy pink. And that's going to be, excuse me, the lighter tone of pink for the blossoms. Alrighty, let's move that to the left side since I'll be using my left hand. So I'm just going to be using my liner brush, which also needs to be wiped down. And I'm going to go in first with the medium toned pink, the true pink. And basically I'm just going to kind of create the shape of the brush. And that was going in the wrong direction. All right, so it's gonna overlap the lotus, or the, what's it called? Lily pad. So you want it to fan out, and you want them to be separated enough so that they don't bleed together. You can bring them together at the base because as flowers do, they do connect, but keep the tops of the petals fanned out. So we're going to do it layer by layer, because if I put another color on top of it at this point, it's just going to blend. And we want some distinct petals. Okay, so we've got the background color for our, or the rear petals of our lotus leaves. We're gonna go ahead and flash those. All right, so moving on, we're just going to go ahead and keep layering in the colors. So since we've got our true pink in the background, we're going to go ahead and put in our lighter pink, and we're going to overlap them. So if you can't see too much of a difference between the colors, you can always go ahead and lighten it, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to take something, I'm going to take some more and just mix it in to the color on my palette, which I have off to the side. Out of the way. So I go in between the petals that are already there so that they stand out a little bit more. You definitely don't want to overlap and nullify the work that you've already done. And you can just bring it down a little bit further so that we can make the flower a little bit grander. And then you can do another flower petal on the outside. So lotus blossoms also have petals that fan outward from the bottom. So I'm going to go kind of at like a 45-degree angle and pull up a petal from the bottom. All right, now we're gonna go in with our darker color, the DGel 030, and we're just going to put in some highlights if I can get my thumb to go the right direction. So going in from the base of the lotus, we're just going to pull up some accents. All right, we're gonna move on to the koi fish now. I'm going to do the 2D koi fish first. So we're gonna have one center of the nail on my middle finger. We're going to have one on my pointer finger, and then we're going to have one on my pinky. So I'm using 3 different colors, or rather, yeah, 3 different colors, 2 shades of one color. So we've got a darker orange right here, which is Stalker, Matte and Glam. We've got the glow orange, white, and black. So I'm gonna start with white because the other colors are going to be our accent colors. I'm gonna take some on my liner brush and kind of draw like a very long teardrop shape. And actually, it might be easier to go in with a dotting tool to start, which is what I did on the other nails. So it stands to reason that I should do the same on my non-dominant hand, or using my non-dominant hand. So we're going to put a little dot and then elongate it slightly just to get it started. I'm going to go one nail at a time. I want the fish to curve around. So I'm going to go at an arc, kind of widen it a little bit, bring it down. And then the same thing on the other side. You can go in whatever direction is comfortable. So now we've got the body of our koi fish. And the fun part is putting in the tails and the fins, because they're very angel-like. They kind of like are wispy and feathery. I need something to balance my finger on. So I'm just dragging the paint out with my brush. We're gonna refine the lines a little bit. And then the fins from the side go back towards the tail. So you want to kind of drag out the paint from the center of the fish. Now, some depictions of koi fish I've seen have kind of like mustaches. I don't know if they do in real life. I've seen them, but I don't remember. But they kind of like come out from the side towards the nose, like that. So there we have our basis of our koi fish. It looks a little weird right now, but it'll start really coming together when we put in the orange. Right now I'm going to flash cure this and get my other 2D koi fish set up, and then we're going to put in the patterns of the fish. All right, so once again, we're going to start in with our dotting tool. All right, I swapped out my DGel hand prop because something's going on with the lid here. It's flaking off. I must have wiped it down with acetone, and it's like the finish is flaking off, and I don't want to get it on my nails. So I am using Crazy Top instead. Let's make sure the lid is closed. All right, so we're gonna go in with some orange. So no clear pattern, just putting it in where I want it. Putting some down the spine, the tail, All right, so now I just want to put in some accents of black. Just putting a little bit on my brush, coating it. Just trying not to get it all over myself. And I'm going to put a little line up the spine. And some accents on the tail. And then we're going to attempt to put in its eyes. So they go on either side of its head, just a dot there, and a dot there. Contemplating getting one of those head goggles for well, that didn't work. All right, now on to the next fun part, the 3D portion, which is actually pretty straightforward. I'm using my DGel. It is a thick builder gel in a pump. And I'm going to use, where did it go? My baby blender brush. So I'll start out on the thumb. I'm going to grab a good amount and kind of just dab it into place. Kind of as if you're doing a water droplet. I want 2 koi fish circling each other, so I'm going to do one at a time. And then cure. But not yet. Grabbing my liner brush, I'm going to pull it into the same shape as we've been doing with the 2D koi fish, but I'm not going to finish it off with the tail. The tail I want still in 2D because it's going to have the appearance of it being underwater. So we just want the body. And pick up a little bit more. Now we're going to do the second koi fish, going in the opposite direction. So I'm going to start the same way. Take a blob, place it facing downward. So we've got 2 on our thumb, we've got 1 on our ring finger, and now we're just going to paint it out the same way that we did with the 2D versions. I'm going to go in with my white. We're going to continue. I am going to clean it up. I've went outside the lines, but we're going to go around and put in our tails. All right, we are in the home stretch. Now all we have to do is base and top coat, and you all know how to do that. I don't need to do anything special for the 3D nails, just don't flood around it. You want to pull a rather thin pull off the hair. One moment, please. You want to pull a thin coat over your 3D fish. Got a little bit of a raised area over here, so I'm just putting a little extra gel. I'm going to cure right away. We're finally here at the end. We finished our koi fish. I've gone and washed my hands. Doing so makes it extra shiny and gorgeous. And I'm interested to know what you think. As always, I'd love to know what you think of this manicure. If you like the format of me already doing one hand and then doing the other one on camera, I think it makes things a little bit easier, at least for me. I can, I already have it in my head what I'm doing, and it's not so much fumfering and uncertainty and confusion. So let me know what you think. I love the way they turned out. I was very uncertain with my left hand, but I do love the way it turned out on my right. I definitely like the middle nail better on my right hand because I think the lily pads on this hand were a little small and a little cluttered, but that's going to do it for this video. I am going to moisturize my hands with some Aloe Vaseline Intensive Care, and then continue on with my cuticle oil as always. Make sure you get in and around the cuticles. All right, so all the information for the products I used will be in the description box below. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. Thank you once again to all of my new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's been here for the long haul. And if you are not yet subscribed and have been thinking about it, there's nothing to lose. It doesn't cost anything. You could always change your mind. I hope you don't, but you always can. And yeah, it would really help me build my channel. I saw my stats the other day that 90% of my viewership is from non-subscribed individuals. Could you imagine where this channel would be if you were all subscribed? So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so that you always know when new videos are available, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.